Quest Audiobooks presents an unabridged recording of Jekyll and Hyde, Consulting Detectives by Tim Major, narrated by Bronwen Price. Prologue. Edward Hyde roared in pain. Pain from his head, pushing from the inside, crushing from the outside. Pain in the dripping red blotch on the white post before him, in the confines of the cage which stopped him from fleeing into the darkness. Pain in his aching fingertips, in the whirl of bloody images in his mind. Those were the worst. He saw the young man again, his hands bound above his head, his feet swaying loosely, dark blood running down his cheeks, dripping onto his sodden shirt and pooling on the floor. Edward saw himself kneeling in that pool and scooping the blood up to let it run between his fingers. He didn't know whether any of it was real. More images came in a flurry, and he threw up his arms to ward them off. A man with his front teeth punched out, a wailing child trampled in the street, a bar singer thrown onto a bed, her limbs splayed unnaturally in all directions. An old man with a neat puncture hole in the centre of his forehead, his mouth a wide, surprised O, and his hands curled into claws, grasping at the life that had already left his body. Edward couldn't breathe. The posts around the edge of his circular cage were constricting, pressing upon his lungs. A chill wind stung his skin, and yet there was no air. There were people out there, too, in the shadows beyond the cage. They were coming closer. He saw himself leaping up, bursting free from the cage, throwing aside anyone who stood in his way. But what he saw in his mind couldn't be trusted. He dropped to the ground, whimpering in confusion. A rising tide of blood washed at his feet. If he remained motionless, it would consume him. He rose and stalked around the edge of the circular platform, knowing there could be no escape. Then he looked directly upwards. He told himself that what he saw was impossible. But how could he be certain? It was that same young man who haunted him. Hands tied above his head, feet swaying, shirt sodden with dark blood. His face was streaked with ugly gashes, and there were black blotches on his arms and neck. Blood rained from the mutilated body onto the floor, onto Edward's face, into his mouth.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?